Hey there. So let's walk through how to get the MEVM system set up and running on TradingView. First, head over to tradingview.com. Once you're there, navigate to the Product section and go ahead and select Superchart. That's where we'll be working from. Now, once the Superchart loads up, we're going to add an indicator, but not from the usual drop-down. Instead, look for the Indicators tab, which should be right here on the interface. On the left-hand side, you'll notice a section labeled Invite-Only Scripts. This is where any tools or scripts you've been given access to will appear. If you've been invited to use any of the MEVM products, this is where you'll find them. Once you spot the MEVM tool, you've been invited to simply click on it and then add it to your chart. Let's say you've been granted access to our advanced toolset. Go ahead and favor it. That way, it stays saved and is easier to locate next time. Now, when you return to your indicators list, you'll see the MEVM tool there. Clicking it again will display it on your chart, typically in the top left corner, confirming that it's been successfully added. From here, we'll begin walking through the setup one step at a time so you can get a feel for how everything works. One of the first things you'll want to do is add the advanced code confluence system. You can also layer on additional data points, and once you favorite them, they'll stay accessible for future sessions. With everything in place, go ahead and click on the Settings icon at the top. This is where you'll start customizing key parameters based on your trading strategy. All right, now let's take a look at the input settings. This is where the real customization begins. Some of the key options you'll see include the 5-period moving average, the VWAP, and other internal criteria that the system uses to generate trade signals. All of these inputs can be adjusted at any time, so depending on your strategy or the kind of weight you want to give certain indicators, you can fine-tune the values to get the most accurate insights. There's also a built-in grading system, which makes it super easy to filter for the types of trades you want to see. You can also adjust the number of confirmation bars used to verify signals, a helpful feature if you're testing different entry strategies. Beyond that, there are plenty of adjustable settings to tailor everything to your trading style. With the RSI, you get to choose both the length and the levels that work for you. There's also the volume average length and the spike multiplier. That's the one that triggers those purple candles whenever there's a strong volume spike. You'll also have control over indicators like the Bollinger Band length and deviation, the Keltner channel multipliers, the display toggles for volume threshold lines, squeeze markers that highlight when the price is coiling up for a potential breakout, and dynamic support and resistance levels, which are incredibly helpful for understanding key price zones on your chart. All of these settings are designed to help you build a charting environment that fits how you trade, whether you're a scalper, swing trader, or long-term strategist. Another visual tool you'll want to check out is called Loop Record Support and Resistance 50. This feature includes pivot points, which help you identify key price reaction zones on your chart. You can switch between a 2-level pivot setup or a 3-level pivot setup, depending on how much detail you want. By default, it's set to 2 levels, but that can be easily changed in the settings. Now let's talk about style customization. This is where you can make your chart feel more intuitive and easier to read at a glance. Under the Style tab, you'll find options to adjust the overall appearance of your chart. For example, you can change the bar colors: green for bullish candles, red for bearish, and a neutral color for times of consolidation, when the market isn't showing a clear direction. You can also control how your EMA lines are displayed. You might prefer them as smooth waves or as straight lines, and you can easily adjust their size to make them more or less prominent on the screen. The same goes for your VWAP line. You can customize its thickness to match your visual preference. If you're monitoring price action closely during active sessions, a thicker line can help it stand out more clearly. The VWAP itself is dynamic, as it changes color from red to green depending on the direction of price movement, making trend shifts easy to spot in real time. You'll also have control over how support and resistance levels are displayed. You can customize their visual style or choose to hide them entirely if you prefer a simpler view. For the squeeze indicator, here's what to look for. When a squeeze is active, you'll see a plus sign appear. And once the squeeze fires off, it turns into an X marker at the bottom of your screen. These markers are great for identifying moments when the market is compressing and getting ready to break out, which is exactly the kind of setup traders want to spot early. You can also define or toggle other display elements like high and low volume thresholds, pivot points, including resistance levels like R1, R2, and R3, and other important price levels. All of these are fully customizable, so you can tailor the chart to show exactly what matters to you. For example, if you prefer a cleaner view, you might choose to turn off indicators like EMAs and instead focus only on essentials like VWAP, support and resistance, and squeeze dots. You'll also find visibility settings, separate from the input settings, within the same configuration panel. This is where you can control how much detail you see on your chart overall. Now, here's where MEVM stands out. One unique feature of this system is how clearly it identifies buy and sell signals. For example, you'll get alerts for key events like the Golden Cross, which happens when the 50-day moving average crosses above the 200-day, a classic indicator that momentum may be shifting bullish. Take a look at the trade panels. This is where each trade gets broken down and graded across different key areas, so you get a clearer picture of what's really going on. You'll see scores for things like the immediate setup, how the trade is moving within the day, any momentum shifts, and even its medium-term strength. Then it goes deeper into the overall market structure and finally, the long-term positioning. Each of these gets its own score, and at the end, you'll see a simple summary that tells you how strong or weak the trade really is. For example, you might see a bullish score of 100% and a bearish score of 0. That's a strong signal pointing in one clear direction. This layered scoring system gives you a full picture assessment of each trade opportunity, rather than relying on a single indicator or moment. If you don't want to keep the panel visible, no problem. You can simply turn it off from the panel settings. Just one important note. Make sure the settings in your main indicator and your panel match. If they're not aligned, you might see inconsistent results on your chart. You also have the option to switch to a breakdown view of the panel. If you turn that off, it disappears, giving you a much cleaner layout to focus on the price action. Now let's talk about some of the visual cues you might have noticed. Those purple candles, they indicate volume spikes. In this setup, for example, the trigger is set to 1.5 times the normal volume. So anytime volume exceeds that threshold, you'll see a purple bar appear. The blue areas on your chart highlight low volume zones, helping you identify areas of low liquidity or indecision. During a squeeze, you'll also see a clear signal on the bottom panel. It's fully labeled so you can catch it at a glance. Take this trade as an example. It was marked as an A+ setup. It didn't move right away, but the conditions were steadily building. You could watch gold shift from around $3,400 to $3,415. That's a solid movement and a great example of how these indicators work together to give you reliable signals. So that's how to use the MEVM indicator effectively. Now, let me quickly show you how to access and use the screener. First, head back to tradingview.com and from the home page, click on Product. Then go to the Screeners. In this section, you'll find something called Pine Beta. And if you've already been invited to use the MEVM screener, it'll show up just like the indicators inside your Invite Only Scripts tab. When you open your Invite Only area inside the Indicators tab, you'll see the MEVM screener listed if you've been granted access. Select the indicator to begin scanning. While several indicators are available, once selected, the screener displays a list of trade opportunities, depending on the specific condition being scanned for. For example, to identify a golden cross, you have to choose EMA 50 and set it above EMA 200. Then you click Scan, and the screener will return all symbols that meet the condition. The time frame can also be adjusted for more refined results. A 15-minute scan might return 22 relevant symbols. A 5-minute scan could show even more recent setups, ideal for short-term strategies. This flexibility allows for precise scanning aligned with your preferred trading horizon. To explore other opportunities, simply reset the screener to clear filters. Another valuable tool is the TTM Squeeze Screener, which includes bull score and bear score, and also a live list of symbols currently in a squeeze-on status. For example, if the bull score is above 2, it signals strong bullish momentum. After scanning, you may see 25 symbols with a B score above or equal to 3. Raising the threshold to B score above 3 filters for even stronger setups. In bearish market conditions, set BS score above 2. This could return up to 50 symbols, depending on the pressure in the market. If your focus is specifically on squeeze setups, you can apply filters like the bull score. Then you click Scan, and the system will return only those meeting the criteria. Sometimes just one symbol meets the squeeze condition, which is a signal worth watching. You can also build more advanced logic by setting the squeeze on above or below the bear score. That's how to use the MEVM screener effectively, in combination with the indicator system, to uncover high-quality trade setups. For questions or support, feel free to email us at info@mevmteam.com or visit our website at mevmteam.com.